Despite the Brexit decision being 21 years away, the former Prime Minister outlined her proposals for successful Western democracy and economic development outside the European Union. Speaking to the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. in 1995, she said, "As someone who believes in Britain, our identity and our institutions, our history and our destiny, I reject the notion that we should effectively cease to govern ourselves and pass more and more powers over to European institutions and non-elected bureaucracies. I also take this opportunity to warn the people of the United States that the agenda that the European federates have set can't be pursued without damaging American interests and ultimately jeopardizing harmonious international relations. It is only by staying united in the West, that is America and Europe together, can ensure that we are the dominant influence in global affairs. That matters because we are the authors and spreaders of liberty and the rule of law. That must be our goal." European federalists, who still find much support amongst European politicians although less among European peoples, aim to create a United States of Europe, with its own government, foreign policy, currency and defense forces, which can only be and is intended to be a rival to the United States. I do not think we can create one nation from 15 different countries and 15 different histories and 13 different languages. The Brexit news. Margaret Thatcher delivered a withering speech about EU ambitions. "I reject the notion that we should effectively cease to govern ourselves." Margaret Thatcher, the former Prime Minister, then outlined the action she would take to maintain security and prosperity for the West. Baroness Thatcher said, "So I propose that Britain first negotiates its way out of those aspects of the present financial arrangements with Europe, which bear particularly heavily upon Britain. That we aim to protect our parliamentary and legal sovereignty, that we declare openly against the single currency, and that we urge the creation of a North Atlantic Free Trade Area, covering North America and the European Community. This would underpin NATO and reverse European protectionism." Emmanuel Macron was described as Margaret Thatcher in an odd comparison, as he battles rail unions which have begun months of strikes in France. Michel Quidort from the European Passengers Federation was asked on ITV News whether the rail strikes in France were Macron's big battle in the way that the miners' strike was to Margaret Thatcher. James Mates, the Europe editor, asked, "Is this like Margaret Thatcher taking on the miners in Britain? Is this the fight you have to win to reform society?" Mr. Quidort said, "It is difficult to compare, but this is the acid test for President Macron.